Welcome to parents who have joined us this morning. It's a pleasure to have you. Today we'll be having our special guest, someone from the Ministry of Education, Region 2, and this person is an education officer, right? So our responsibilities are many, so she's going to be joining us, and she will be hosting this discussion sessions. All right, so help me welcome Miss Shahini from Roberts. Mrs. Shahini from Roberts, Education Officer. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. And good morning to you all. As she said before, I'm Shahini from Roberts, an Education Officer from the Ministry of Education, Region 2. And like you, I am wearing my mask to adhere to as we try to keep safe during this pandemic. So boys and girls, parents who are here, it's really my pleasure to be with you this morning. And so as starting with the children first, I want you to tell me, what has it been like since March 13? That was your first day out of school. So your last day was on March 12th. What has it been like?
Then need to do with the parents. Do with the parents.
And teacher, I see a hand raised behind me. And so we're going to ask the person to stand so the rest of you can see. I think it's young Mr. Clark, right? Come across a little bit more, right? So good morning.
It's like I cannot go back to school today.
Morning.
Should I break up? My name is Frank and I go to primary.
So we have one almost.
You can take off.
Because I cannot go back to school.
So how do you feel about not being able to go back to school? Are you happy? Are you sad? You're sad? Okay.
All right. And so it's okay to feel sad because first of all, the reasons causing you to feel sad though for not being in school? What are you? Is there anything you're missing?
Yes, it's because we can't get to do more work in schoolwork that we already do. We were still when they already studying this summer.
Okay. The thing is, you've been home so long, you have forgotten that this is summer break. So that is why your teachers would not have been giving you more work since the end of June, because you're now on holidays, summer break. And so it's like you've been on an extended break for a very long time. But let me reassure you that once school restarts, you can see. Right, come over a little bit more. Once we restart school, even if you're not in that physical space because of what seems to be happening, this spike in the number of cases, I'm sure that your teachers will ensure that you get adequate work to do while you're at home, just as they did when school just closed, all right? Very good. Thank you so much, Mr. Clark. I'm going to take one from the group. I'm not seeing anybody hand raised, so remember to click on the raised hand feature.
Or if you're not seeing the raise hand feature, we're seeing most of you. There's some of you whose video is off. So if you'd like to unmute your video so that we can see you, you can still raise your hand and we try to call on you.
Is there anyone in the group who would like to speak who is not physically here at the library with us this morning? Andrew, I see your microphone open, Andrew Henry. So Andrew, would you like to share how you've been coping since March 13? Go ahead, Andrew, I see your face.
Do you want to share with us how you feel about being home since COVID?
We're not able to hear you, Andrew. We notice that you're speaking, but we're not able to hear. You can also type in the chat room. You can type your concerns or how that has been for you in the chat. All right, so we have with us here to join me as she shares how it has been for her since March 13. You can remove your mask and speak.
It has been torture for me to be at home, and it's also it makes me sad because I don't have any friends around. Like from March to August, I don't have any friends around, so it makes me disappointed in myself. And some of the times I talk to myself because it comes like, just because I don't have any friends around, I just talk to myself. So I am my only friend around.
Right. I didn't get your name. So remind me of your name. Davia. So Davia, those are feelings that a lot of the rest of you may be having as well, not being able to be with your friends at school for such a long time. You said you have no friends around. Is it that you're the only one living in the area where you are? There's nobody else in the yard with you?
No, there's no friends around.
Do you have a telephone? Do you have access to a phone? No, you don't have access to a phone. And so that has caused you not to be able to keep in touch with your friends. And so that must be causing you some feelings of loneliness now. But guess what? During this time, are you able to mommy at home? What about mommy? Mommy, who do you live with at home?
My mommy, my grandma, my sister, my nephew.
Right. So those are people that you can relate to at home. So this is a time now when our parents will have to get back into the tradition of telling stories and doing all the wonderful things that I grew up with as a child, where we would sit and learn things from our grandparents. You have to try to relate to those persons who are in your space so that you can get rid of some of those feelings of loneliness. Have you been speaking to your mom about this though?
Yeah.
You've been talking to mommy about it, right? And so that is important. So parents, those of you who are in the group with us this morning, it's important to spend quality time with the children at this time. This is a time when you're going to have to ensure that the children are not isolated even in the house, because it's easy for us to be on our cell phones. It's easy for us to be talking with our friends on WhatsApp and all the other social media, but yet the people in our immediate space, they are not being engaged by us. And so we have to be very careful. And so one of the things I would want to say to us as adults and children as well is to have time when you will watch television together, time when you will play together. Yes, parents, some of us will have to go back to learn to play sighting and dandy shandy. I see mommy laughing. Yes, you have to go back to those days when we used to spend quality time together as family, because we have found that the gadgets that we have spent more time on the phone with our friends elsewhere than with the people in our immediate space. So we have to get back to our tradition as a family and teach the children some of these games that we used to play before. Yes, parents, this is that time when we have to spend quality time with our children and ensure that we play with them, talk with them, watch TV, even go down to Ocean if you have to go, if you can go into the park, carrying out all the protocols and take them out for an evening. Do something different with them.
Yes, let me take you out a lot of times.
You can bring me a car.
Yes, we take our a lot of time.
Mommy, you can bring me a car.
Come on,
Today,
listen to her.
and to do all of that. Teach them to cook, to bake, and to do something that you normally wouldn't get the time to do with them. Another way that she can keep her mind occupied during this time, and it will help you too to have adventures.
Thank you.
You have to read, just read books. It doesn't have to be your textbook, mommy. Mommy, it doesn't have to be your textbook. It can be a book about something that
No, we're not talking about textbook. We're talking about library books. Yes, we're talking about library books. So just say it to her, because she tends to get a bit lazy when it comes on to reading. So you tell her.
All right, so I wouldn't say it's lazy. So maybe she hasn't really found the adventures that books can take her on. And so you need to probably come in and choose a book that you like. And when you read that book, you will find out that you can have real fun. It's like you're actually there experiencing those stories and those experiences. So mommy, don't tell her that she's lazy. Maybe she really doesn't like reading. And so it will take time for her to warm up to that. Okay, sweetie, what's your name, darling? That she's not feeling so happy.
Tamaya.
Tamoya, yes. So Tamoya, listen. Kamoya. So Kamoya, I'm encouraging you to come to the library and choose a book. Books are really enjoyable to read, especially if you have a book that is surrounding a story, a plot that you are interested in. So
But
just
she knows about that. She's a member of the in competition as well. So she knows a lot about the reading of book and how adventurous they are, because it even pulled me in as a parent, you know. When she's reading, I read a lot with her. And so the books pull me into the story. Yeah, and I enjoyed it, but I don't know what is going on with her. Maybe she rather to sit on the phone and so forth. So I am happier saying that she, you know, open our minds to it again.
Let me just interject a little bit. Kamaya, please know that we have gotten a lot of new children's books, books that you might not have read. So since the COVID period, we have added a lot of new books to the shelves. So you can come in and you have an array of books to choose from. Very exciting books. And so I encourage you to come in and select your choice, books of your choice.
okay, she sounds excited now. So the problem, mommy, was that probably she has read all the books that she liked before. So now you have new books to choose from, and that's wonderful, Mrs. Burton. Because if we do not increase or books that are here, the children will get bored with what we do have, because after they've read it, avid readers, they'll read a lot of books in a short space of time. And so they will get bored. And I see the spark in her eyes now that she has heard that there are new books on the shelf. And so we thank the Jamaica Library. So that's great. And she's smiling. That's wonderful. So who else would like to share this morning? Yes, you may. Then put back your mask, right?
I didn't hear.
We
She didn't hear what
have
you said.
Miss Andrea Marson, who have joined us on the telephone. Miss Marson, are you hearing me? Miss Marson? All right, so we'll figure that out. But remember, man, we talked about this from yesterday. Viv Green, is there any comment from your home, from the participants there? Would you like to share with us?
Would you like to share something about your experience at home? Yeah.
It's very boring. Really, really boring.
It's
I
boring.
miss school. I miss my friends. It's really boring.
Oh my.
So do you get to talk to your friends at all?
Sometimes, but they don't talk. They only call.
What you saying?
They only call. They don't talk.
They just ring the phone and just on the phone.
Yeah.
So, but you guys need to
And
have
just
things to talk about. You guys need to find things to talk about. So maybe what you can do is probably you can start a book club with your friends and have them read too, and or maybe you watch a series movie and you can talk about it. Find things to do. Maybe you can do
They
some.
don't want to watch any movie or anything.
They don't want to do
All
things.
they want to do is curse.
Okay. Well, well, I'm gonna tell you, try to see how much you can influence them to become an avid reader as yourself. Is there anybody else who has anything else to say? So how are you feeling about going back to school? Since most of you are not speaking about how you are feeling about being
I was
away.
really happy, but my mom came home and said it started in January. I was really upset.
Yes, that's the information that we got earlier, that school was open in September, and then we get a feedback that it's not going to open until January, they roll time. So I'm not sure you clear that up because she's disappointed when she hear that, you know.
When did you?
So if you can just clear that up for me.
What was the source of that information? Let me ask first, mommy. The source of the information you got about school being reopened January.
I didn't hear you.
Asking you the source of the information that you have just shared with us about reopening.
Okay, it's Facebook. Facebook, I saw it on, but I don't remember what's the
Was that an official statement from the Ministry of Education?
It's not the Gleaner. It's not the Gleaner. I don't remember which one of those things I had it off, but I saw it on internet. I saw it on Facebook.
Until there is an official statement from the Ministry of Education, we will continue to say that school will reopen. We do not know if the physical doors will reopen because I cannot speak to what decision the Parliament will make, even though it's dissolved. But what I can reassure you is that if it is that we still have to continue our distance learning because of what is happening with the pandemic, I can assure you that all our teachers have been trained. So we will adjust as we have to adjust to ensure that our children will get the necessary education that they need. And what I want the parents to understand is that because the Ministry of Education, we are the ones who prepare our own tests, we are the ones who develop the curriculum, we can also adjust how we assess our students as well. And so we want.
I'm happy that you brought up because I'm having a challenge. Learning from home. I am so happy they're on today. We can put our views. My challenge that I have home, we don't have the flow or any of those service here. So what I have to do, I have to top my phone with internet so that I can use it, but not all the time it picks up very well here. Because even though while I was on, it keep kicking off each time. So I have a problem that many days when we're doing online learning here, there are many days you can't get to see anything because the service doesn't work well here.
Right. And
so I'm having a challenge in that area.
All right. So it depends. Each school has developed a reopening plan. And so the schools will communicate that with the parents in coming weeks. What is happening is that if your child is facing that challenge, the Ministry of Education has advised our schools to ensure that we give printed material where that is concerned. Most of the schools are also developing and getting on the LMS, that's the Learning Management System, a platform that they will use, whether it be Schoology or Moodle or Edmundo. And what they will be able to do is to put material there where parents can access it at times when you outside of the class time. So they are calling it asynchronous method, where you can always access that information at a later time, and you can download it and use it on your laptop if you have one. The ministry is also planning on giving part students tablets. It's going to be a loaner system that will be done by the school. So the tablets will be provided to the school, but we will not be able to give every single child at the onset one. And so we're also going to be lending some tablets to students. They'll be assigned to the students, and the schools and the parents will have to sign the requisite forms to ensure that you take good care of them. And so we are trying to see how best. So what is going to happen is that each teacher will have to understand the parent-teacher relationship will have to be built so that the teacher knows that this student has a challenge with internet. So this child cannot be given something to go online, but rather will need printed material or will access it at a later date. So it has to be a situation in which both parent and teacher will have to partner together and have very close relations in order to ensure that all students succeed in this pandemic.
May I just join in by saying that the library also has been assisting the ministry to undertake this, where the printed materials for some are provided are placed at the library for easy access. Should in case persons have challenges traveling to the school or whatever the challenge is, they make available the hard copy of the work that is to be done, and so persons can access at the community libraries as well. So that is an initiative that they undertook last term, and hopefully we will be continuing that. We will have to continue the dialogue to see how that will go. But we also are joining to see how best we can assist the community. And you know that we have internet at most of our libraries except Wood Park. We have 8 libraries that is equipped with internet connectivity, and where we can assist, we will be more than willing to do so.
Okay. I know that the library is always there for us. I appreciate the library very well. I really do. I just need to make that click. But I have an issue, Miss Education Officer. What's him again?
From Roberts, Shaheen from Roberts.
Yes, Miss Roberts. Another issue I have online and learning is that work. When it goes back to work, with me, I am the person who always have the search on my phone. So when I leave the house, she have no access. So that's another challenge that I'm having. I don't know, as you say, is the new normal, but it is a very challenging one coming this school here for the children.
It is a challenge.
To go to the library and use that, but I don't leave my child. So that's the challenge that I am having. Or I think it's the internet.
You would say what the challenge is again, leaving your child and?
Is that there's no, I would say, security, proper security for my child. Because when I leave, normally when I go to work, she goes to school. When I come home, comes home.
And
if
that
you understand
really
what I mean.
Many parents will be facing, especially if the school that your child attends is not able to accommodate whole day modality. And so as a parent, now that you are aware that this is going to be a challenge, you will now have to put proper plans in place where your child is concerned on the days when she is not necessary as well, being at home. Because you would not want to leave her alone.
You know, normally you would leave them with somebody else. It's just a social distancing at this time where, you know, everybody is trying to be careful about this coronavirus. So not only when you leave them with somebody else and so forth, that is the challenge I'm having.
What being the safety protocols. So even if you leave her with a neighbor or a friend, she knows that she's to be wearing her mask. If she needs to take off her mask and get some fresh air, she needs to go in an open space away from others to take a breather, as well as to understand that she has to keep washing the hands and or hands. Can't be sharing your pencils and everything with everybody anymore unless you're going to be sanitizing them. And so it is going to take a lot of discipline on the part of each child to be able to protect him or herself in this pandemic. Because instead of us saying we are getting over it, we are getting spike in the number of cases. And that is coming because many of us have gotten very comfortable since the reopening of our country and our borders. And we have not been practicing as much social or physical distancing as well as the other hygiene practices. And that is what is causing the major issue in our country.
Is there any question from you or your child? Ms. Andrea? Hold on, we're trying to get the volume up on the. Hold on, she does have a question.
She has a question.
Yes. It's low. You have to speak up, Miss Johnson. Okay. Okay, very good. So what she's saying, guys, is that she has gotten the answer to the questions that she wanted to ask. So she is hearing us clearly, and some of her questions are being answered. Is there anyone else online that wants to comment? All right. We see someone from Galaxy J3. You can go ahead. We're not hearing clearly. Speak into the phone or the device. We're not hearing you clearly. Another thing you can do, you can use the chat, because we're not hearing that comment at all. So you can type your question in the chat using the chat, and then we will answer. We did not get that at all.
We still did not hear quite clearly. I think I heard you saying about not touching other people's things. Yes, so you don't want to be sharing. And so when the children go, they're accustomed to having like two of them sitting in those dual benches. Based on the health protocols, each child will have a bench for him or herself, because we have to keep our children safe, to develop a sanitation plan, how they will be sanitizing, when it will be done, by whom it will be done. And we have also asked our stations, we have asked that the schools ensure that there are markers to show the students where to sit, where to stand, if they have to go to the canteen or the tuck shop to purchase items. Some of the other things that the schools have also designed a plan of how to schedule or stagger the lunch times in our schools. And so the schools have been doing a lot of back work outside during this pandemic. The principals and the schools have been putting plans together on the ground. I have gone through all the plans for all the schools. I've gone through at least 32 schools, and I'm telling you, all the schools in our region, they have all submitted plans, including our prep schools, and we have been able to ask them to adjust some of the plans. But I can tell you that there will be no compromise when it comes down to the health and safety of our students and our teachers, as well as those persons who will be working at school. And some of those, if you should go to the schools, you'll see that they are in high gears, trying to ensure that the space is properly organized. And so they are measuring, most schools are using 3 feet apart, but the Ministry of Health has indicated that if we do the 3 feet apart, we must ensure that the students are wearing their masks at school on a daily basis. So it's practicing proper hygiene. So yes, your friend borrows your pencil. When you take it back, you need to sanitize it before you use it, and sanitize your hands, because you are exchanging things. So you have to treat each person as if they are positive in order to keep safe. So the teacher now will have to ensure that the teacher protects him or herself. So when teacher is going to be used, teacher will have to sanitize her hands and make sure, and they'll have to work out the procedures in the classroom, strategies to ensure that they keep themselves safe at school. You're most welcome.
All right, so we're getting a question in house. Just come around closely so they can hear the question for it to be answered.
I hope I have the answer.
No, somebody else will answer.
Okay, for
Because the
the
internet not
babies
doing
like
no good justice.
3 and 4 years old, how do we, will the teachers treat with them while in school? Because remember, they don't keep on their masks. How will they treat with them?
All right. So that is something that we maybe not have the answer to. But again, what I have found is that children, babies are adaptable. They adjust easily to situations. So at home now, as parents, I would encourage parents to start allowing them to wear their mask and yes, allow them to. She said 3 or 4 year olds, so they'll be going to school. And so we are hoping to have the 3 to 6 feet apart, depending on the size of the rooms. The teachers are ensuring that the children sit one to a table, most of them, because we understand, and most of these schools will have teacher assistants. It's a basic school, maybe they have an assistant there. At our infant departments that the Ministry of Education is responsible for, we ensure that they have caregivers. So the caregivers, each teacher will have a caregiver to assist them with the students, to go to the restroom, as well as to assist with sanitizing what is in the classroom, their space in the rooms.
Okay. Any other questions from our Zoom participants or for you guys here? Is there any questions you would like to ask? Both? Her? Okay.
Here's a question or somebody is talking.
Oh, okay, so my friend here, Davia, wanted to know this space, maybe because of the mask. Really? Who's your teacher? Miss Brown at grade 3? Or 2? Grade 4? Of course, I've been up to your class. Right. So she wants to know more about me. So let me tell you a little bit about me. So I live here in St. Mary. I am an educator for over 21 years. I have been a school principal. I've been a guidance counselor. I've been a coach. I've been several things, and I'm a Christian, and I'm a mother. So I have a child too who is in school. And yes.
Okay.
So those are telling her a little bit more about me.
This person here, I think. I wonder if he wants to comment.
Second fire, your microphone is open. You may go ahead.
Jordan.
With Jordan. What is my name?
I kind of miss school for the education that I used to get.
I know that many of you prefer to learn in a face-to-face environment where you can see a teacher, see your friends, and interact. But then as we adjust to this new normal. It's not normal, it's all new. And so once your teachers will take you through. So if you have good internet at home and you'll be doing a blended approach at your school, your teachers will walk you through the LMS system. It is a learning management system that they will use if you have to learn from a distance. Now on this platform, even here in Zoom, in groups with each other, and there are so many things we can do which is similar to what we would do if we were in a physical space. And this space will also give the teacher the opportunity to, if you have to do it online, where you'll be able to work in your groups, you can present and use the technology even more. What is happening now is that learning, the shift has changed. The students and the parents will now have to take a greater part in ensuring that you learn. And so all of the responsibility is now being passed on to you to learn that discipline, to join your class on time, do your work, and ensure that you play your part. But as you go back to school, if your school has a guidance counselor, don't be afraid to go to your guidance counselor, to speak with your guidance counselor about your concerns, because guess what? All of us are unsure of what will happen. It's going to take the entire village now to raise the child. Parents will have to find ways to get other persons to take care of the child in a school where everybody can't be there because of the size. And children will also have to understand that they will have to work with their parents and their teachers even more to ensure that they are not distracted while they are at home trying to learn as well. But I can assure you, John, you appear very smart, and I'm sure that your teacher will help you to adjust to this newness of learning from a distance. Okay, Bijuan?
All right.
No,
So
my name is actually Jordan.
Thank you.
Jordan, I'm so sorry about that. Please forgive me. Am I forgiven?
Yes, miss.
Thank you.
we have a question from Mrs. Coleman Clark and out. She will join us.
My question is, in the event that a parent decides to homeschool their child or children, I know that an assessment will be done. What will assessment entail?
All right, so I am not the person who will do that assessment, but what I do know is that the independent school unit would have to come to your house to ensure, or maybe via telephone to assess whether or not the home is suitable for the child to be there. One of the things that we have found is that persons will want to say they're homeschooling, but there is a shop or a cook shop in the yard, and the child will not really be necessarily be homeschooled, but the child will be busy doing other things. So they have to be sure that what you are saying you will be doing is what will be done, and how organized you will be, what that setting will look like for the student, because they'd want it to be as close to what the school environment would almost be. So you have the option, the independent school unit, you can get more information from the independent schools unit as to how to go about homeschooling, because that is also an option being provided to parents, especially if your children have comorbidities, or if you feel that it is not safe enough for your child to be out there.
Ms. Matthews, you had a question? I think we both have a similar question.
She has something else.
How is it that they will monitor the social distance with so many students and the time period? Is it possible for a child to be wearing a mask from like 9 a.m. until 2:30 p.m.?
No. So what is happening is that we have issued something called the Education in Emergency Plan to the schools. And so we had a test run when the high schools went back in June. And so we have asked that there must be a time where the teachers will either take the students outside, and if they have the 6 feet around them, they can always take it off. They need fresh air, they can take it off for a little while and breathe, but the teachers will want to ensure that they are wearing it. So it's not that they're going to wear it for the entire 6 hours that they're at school, but we are expecting that if the child is uncomfortable, would indicate to the teacher, or the teacher will provide time when they will take it off so they can have fresh air. But we'd prefer that to be done in an open space on the outside, where we are sure that even if there are particles out there, they are not inhaling at that time.
Okay, very good questions coming in from our parents. Is there any other questions? Anybody else have any question or want to share anything guys on sex? Pardon me? Where
Okay, so the Ministry of Education Region 2 is located in Portland at Paisley Gardens, right at the entrance of the the College of Agriculture, Science and Education. So the Region 2 office is in Portland.
Okay, we have another question from a parent.
Go ahead. Oh, it's in-house.
Yes,
in-house.
Okay, okay, it's a question regarding the homeschooling. How will that work out for our parents who have to go out and work?
And again, I'm going to have to say, Mommy, that is something that we have not, as a nation, have not gotten the answers to. And it means that it's going to be on an individual basis, where parents will now have to make necessary arrangements for the children. So even if it means that you're going to have to find somebody who will be that person to keep the child for you when they are not at school, the numbers are just too large, and there is no way we can accommodate all our students in some of our schools at the same time. So it's a challenge, parents. I don't know if you have been a part of any of the parenting conferences that have been held online. The teachers too are asking the same question, because they too have children, and their children may not be at a school where there is whole day. How are we going to be working it out? So we are still grappling with that. But at this time, we are trying to adjust along students' health and safety. Just a moment, please.
Another question.
See if
If you so decide to homeschool your child, and do you have to apply to the Minister of Education?
Definitely, because there's a curriculum document for homeschooling. So homeschooling is not just doing the work at home. There are specific things that they would expect you to be teaching your child. And so there's a curriculum document that you get to follow to say what you're doing and examples of what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So it is not just to say, boy, I'm keeping my child at home and not sending the child, I'll do it myself. No, there is a curriculum document, and that is why we're saying apply through the independence unit. And as I said before, I am trying to get the number for the person responsible. There's an email address for it, I know, but I wanted to get a contact number that I could have probably asked them if I could give it. I don't want to give the person's personal number.
There's a reason. Galaxy 3. Galaxy J3. Go ahead with your question.
Go here, so let's see if there's community.
Is this Costa? Is it Kamaya?
Go ahead, Kamaya.
All right, go ahead, Mrs. Clark, until Kamaya is ready.
All right. In my community, there are some persons who doesn't have access to internet and don't even have the required gadgets to access the internet. So for those students who have really missed out on from March to June, how is it that you will assess them, and for what they have missed, or will they gain those information?
All right, so what is happening is that when the school reopens, whatever that looks like, the students will be assessed. So at this time, we are preparing the assessment documents across the levels from grades 1 through to grade 9. First month of school to assess the students, and then we will be able to see where the gaps are. And then we will pick up from there. The teachers will pick up from there. So we have given the education in emergency plan, and we have given it a schedule how the teachers will go about doing what they are supposed to be doing at the time. Again, as I said, the Ministry of Education, we create the curriculum documents, we create the assessment. So wherever we recognize that the students would not be able to be tested beyond a particular term or a level, we will adjust our examinations the same way to ensure that we are aligned to what the students would have done. As we try to adjust to what we have found ourselves in this pandemic, there are many uncertainties, but one thing I can assure you is that we will be doing all that we can to ensure that the quality education is provided for our students, and we are ensuring that there is no compromise with our students' health and safety, as well as those of our teachers and those of the support staff at our schools. And as we continue to await the decision regarding reopening, we continue to prepare ourselves as we move into what uncertain grounds. That's what I'm going to say, uncertain grounds. But we will just hold on to the things that we are sure. We will wear our masks. We will wash our hands regularly. We will sanitize them when we can't wash them. We'll ensure that we keep ourselves safe. We will exercise some level of discipline and ensure that we play our part as we seek to come out of this pandemic. Thank you.
So let us give Mrs. Roberts a big round of applause.
May good Lord be with us all in this time.
Okay, so I'm sure this was very informative, the session. You got to share some of your concerns and ask the necessary question as we prepare. We have to understand that this is a new environment that we will be operating in. Adapt and try to make it work. So each of us have a part to play, right? Parents and the children and everybody has a part to play in this. So let us do the best that we can, right? So thank you for having a very vibrant discussion, and we will be moving into our next segment. We did not forget about the jingle.
COVID bad, stunting, put a pause on the world, what a something, make everybody lock up, mumbling, nobody never expect this or something, everybody lock up, what a something, can't go look for my granny so she mumbling, take it serious, it's not a fun thing, a millions it kill and it not done thing, COVID bad. Stunting, put a pause on the world, what a something. Make everybody lock up, mumbling. Nobody never expect this as something. Washing hands is now a must thing. Wear your mask, we not catch this as something. No forget, fi keep on a distance and use your foot or elbow fi give greeting. COVID bad. Stunting, put a pause on the world, what a something. Make everybody lock up, mumbling. Nobody never expect this as something. COVID bad. Stunting.